really quick, because before we get into any other stories, really want to focus on this, and that is this. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and so the BBs need to go gold. These families and foundations usually have their annual DC walk and many other events throughout this month, but because of COVID, obviously they can't do that. So this September, we're gonna constantly promote this every episode of Habibi Power Hour this month, and what essentially 100% that we're trying to
100%.
do. What we're trying to do is raise awareness for the amount of funding that is going to child cancer research. Um, Now, back in 2013, a child by the name of Gabriella Miller, she was a bill was passed in her honor, and she died from a brain tumor. Um, but what happened from that is that they allocated, I believe, 125 or $126 million towards childhood cancer research, um, and but only 4% of $1 billion of the government spending is going to cancer research directly towards child cancer. Um, and to give you some ideas of some of the statistics behind it, for children in the US, cancer is the leading cause of death by disease. Every day, 43 children are diagnosed with cancer. Over 40,000 children undergo treatment for cancer each year. The average age of children diagnosed with cancer is 6 years. Hospitalizations cost 5 times as much than any other pediatric condition. 84% of US families with a child with cancer experience work disruptions, and 20% of families reported losing over 40% of their annual income while taking care of a child with cancer. So we included one particular link where you can learn about and help out. We also included in the description of this video below a couple of accounts for you to follow. We have a fundraiser on Facebook. I don't know, Jay, you know this a little bit better than I do about this particular fundraiser.
Right. It's for a family, particular family, Walter, and it goes by hashtag Warrior Walter. And if you could, the most that we can do, really, I mean, the least we can do is follow these people that we have in the description. Just retweet their stories, make sure that they understand that they're listened to, that they're seen, and that we can push more awareness for everyone. And we're going to be putting a GoFundMe description on each week for a family that we could support. And even if you could just send off a postcard, a letter, toys, whatever you could to people who are in the hospital, especially kids who can't and who are not going to have the togetherness that they're used to, especially
Because obviously
during September.
there's isolation from COVID. Obviously,
Right.
usually only one family member is allowed in, and they can't allow basically anyone in nowadays. But one of the things that we're trying to do is build up awareness for Gabriella Miller Kids' first act 2.0. So they got the first act passed in 2013. The second act is trying to redirect the penalties from pharmaceutical company. They're trying to they're seeking non-payer tax payer funding. What am I even saying? I can't even speak. God, what's wrong with me? They are looking for this is awful. I'm trying to read, but I can't. They're seeking funding by redirecting the penalties from pharmaceutical companies that break the law. So redirecting or reappropriating that money that is going to the federal government towards childhood cancer research. Because just in the last 20 years only 2 new drugs have been developed to treat children with cancer. And there are 12 and different types of cancer that children have primarily been experiencing. This particular bill, the Gabriella Miller Kids First Research Act, it's been pretty bipartisan. It's like one of the few things in Washington that's not a polarized or partisan issue.
Right.
So if you go to foursquareclobberscancer.com, I included the link in the description. It's obviously on your screen. Check it out. You can find ways to reach your representative. Jay and I don't usually advocate for anything really, unless we think it's a good cause, and we both think it's a very good cause. We'll have more information for you as the month progresses, and ways for you to get involved and help out. But in the meantime, if you go and check our description in the YouTube episode, you'll see a few Twitter accounts as well to follow, and a Facebook group that Warrior Walt. They have a fundraiser on Facebook right now. I believe it's going through GoFundMe, right?
That's correct. It is going through GoFundMe. They're seeking $3,000 for treatment expenses and everything. He's a great. It's a great story. He loves Baby Yoda. You would see a lot of pictures with him and Baby Yoda and stuff. He's honestly going through. He's going through a lot, and he's really fighting hard against it. It's amazing watching him push through it, and and just a tweet to him, a message, it would mean a lot.
Yeah, I'll go a long way. I'll be sure to reach out to them as well. So we'll hear from some Habibis before we go on to some of the top stories this past week. GC Geek Army. Thank you, GC Geek Army. First time listener, long time Habidi. Habidi, he's writing like Jay Speak. He's really enjoying the Power Hour. Thank you for that. Faye chiming in, said childhood illness survivor here in the house. Please support this bill.
That's amazing, Faye.
She also writes, also, if you give charity, Mattel Children's Hospital in Los Angeles, Philadelphia Children's Hospital, and John Hopkins Pediatrics are great places. I agree. Let's see. And Mary, thank you, Mary. You gave us the push to address this, and we really appreciate you doing that, because I hope we can help a lot of people. Of course, just in the last week, we lost Chadwick Boseman to colon cancer. And while he was not a child, he certainly left us far too soon at the age of 43. And
he did a lot of work with kids with cancer,
a lot of work with children with cancer,
going through what he was going through. I mean, a real life hero. I mean, nobody knew. It was a shock to a lot of people, and to go back and see the videos of him doing movie after movie after movie while still going to all these kids. It's just, I mean, my God, it's amazing.
Gretchen chiming in, Siraj, will you retweet your info about this when we're done so I can retweet too? Absolutely. Lisa Ann Spalding, thank you so much for promoting awareness of Habibis. The childhood cancer community appreciates it. Let's see. Wait, Jim Klein chiming in. I beat cancer in my 30s. I can't imagine going through it as a kid. Congrats to you, Jim, for beating it. Hope you remain healthy. Obviously, look, we're in a very polarized environment, and people tend to forget each other's humanity. And it's, I think, once we get past like a heated election, I feel like people start to come together a bit. And I'm hoping that we finally get to that point where people can start treating each other civilly.